Generations of Native children stolen, taken away to places they didn't know, with people they never met, who spoke a language they had never heard.
To turn them into whites. So the children were sent off.
Turn them into whites.
Turn them into whites.
Us Americans have accepted the Declaration of Independence as the document of our separation from Britain, but also as the fundamental principles of the government and the description of its citizens' individual rights.
Unalienable rights.
That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
However, in the 250 years that the country has existed, we still haven't fully incorporated these fundamental principles into society. Now, saying that does not mean that this country isn't changing. Americans went from enslaving groups of people to representing them and dedicating months to those same groups. America can and is moving into a better future, but we can't forget the terrible mistakes this nation has made in the process. Over the 250 years of America, cultural erasure has neglected the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But as America ages and changes, there is a noticeable shift towards accepting the differences of others and truly embodying these rights. The Europeans were never the first people on the land of North America. The title of first belongs to the Native Americans are a huge, diverse group of people who inhabited the land of North America way before the first 13 colonies of America. When the first settlers came, they saw the Native Americans. They saw their clothes, homes, their different languages. Because the Native Americans' cultures were different, the Europeans saw them as uncivilized savages. They were enslaved and burdened. The cultures and unique identities cultivated over hundreds of years were being stomped out by the European settlers.
And pieced together what they call this hole torn in their culture.
Tribal sovereignty evaporated, was shattered, pushing Native people off their homelands, denying their humanity and their rights, targeting children to cut their connection to their ancestors and their inheritance.
While this is terrible now, it was viewed as normal for the Europeans. In that time, there was slavery, there was racism, and there was
After being dragged through wars, slavery, and having many of their cultures disrespected, you might expect the natives to receive nicely wrapped gifts and a sincere apology from the settlers, but no.
Well, these days it's called colonization, socialization, assimilation, survival, essentially survival.
In 1830, the President Andrew Jackson passed the Indian Removal Act of 1830 and addressed southeastern Native American tribes like the Cherokee. This act forced these tribes to move all the way from southeastern America to modern-day Oklahoma.
2 months, floods prevented the shipping to move people, some terrible experiences.
The trip was a grueling 1,200 miles full of sickness, starvation, and death, and caused about 4,000 to 6,000 Native American deaths. It dismantled communities and strained their connection to their homeland. Many daily traditions were disturbed, and ancestors buried in the homeland were left behind. This separation was the start of the erasure.
The Indian boarding school era was a dark period in our nation's history, and a painful example of how past federal policy failed American Indians, Alaska Natives, and Native Hawaiians. As the Department...
Between the times of 1869 and the 1960s, many Native American children had to go to these terrible schools, and their cultures were essentially being erased from their hands. These schools were called boarding schools, and if they spoke their native languages, then they would be punished. Anything related to their own culture was taken away from these children.
Kill the Indian and save the man.
The Americans tried to take away every last bit of their cultural identity and tried to replace it with a white one. They ripped away everything that made the Native American children Native Americans. Bit after bit after bit, the Americans were erasing everything, sometimes even children's lives. Americans, no matter how you look at it, were not following the values of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Luckily, we noticed this.
But the federal government has never formally apologized for what happened until today. I formally apologize.
The natives, after decades, finally received a well-deserved apology, a sign of the changing times. Racism, slavery, and the erasing of culture is deeply frowned upon. America is slowly changing and making progress towards accepting different cultures. But even with that being said, this country has a long way to go. Even in the present, Native Americans continue to face challenges including discrimination, disproportionately high poverty, and inadequate access to resources like clean water and healthcare. So while America is still evolving, we can map the progress and realize we changed a lot.
Jamendo.com. Jamendo.com.